All right, it's Team GeekWire coming to you live from the Bellagio.
How did we end up here?
What's the name
We're
of
at the Wild Tangent Party.
We should give props to the Wild Tangent
Fantastic party tonight.
All right, so it is officially day 3 for us at CES. Taylor, what were your major impressions of the day?
I feel like we start this stick the same way every time. But hey, I loved the Intel keynote. Actually, I know you weren't as high on it.
Keep going,
Come
man.
on.
You got to power through.
Power through this stuff. Come on.
All right. Well, I love the Intel keynote. It might be a product of the fact that Intel is everywhere. You know, their technology is everywhere. But they had drones. They had a hackathon winner. They had a new initiative, $300 million toward diversity and technology. They had it all, and I thought it was just really well produced.
Yeah, I thought Intel was probably the best keynote that I've seen in a few years at CES. And for me, the reason was that they really demonstrated live on stage exactly how this stuff works. So they had drones literally flying across stage. They had a net that was erected in the side of the keynote pavilion where they had drones flying through obstacles. And they really showed how this stuff is going to become autonomous. There are sensors, and really it's going to change the way that people interact with technology. I thought it was a very good demonstration of the things that other people merely talked about.
Contrasting with the Samsung keynote,
oh my gosh,
where the BMW executive teased ahead to the idea that they would be able to bring a car out autonomously onto the stage, and then were unable to do it and we just went to a video. But then Taylor, later in the day, actually Audi did exactly what BMW should have done at the Samsung keynote.
Audi, also known as Audi.
Audi, let's say it.
That's how you pronounce it in Ohio.
But hey, the German execs were all in town, so it's Audi. I think I heard it enough times today, but they actually, one of their R&D chiefs pushed a button on his smartwatch, and out came the Audi, no driver, pulled up, stopped, all with his smartwatch.
So they did live on stage what the BMW exec merely kind of faked through a video.
It was lame. It was lame that they did it in a video.
Yeah, it was. And now also Intel had a big announcement in terms of diversity. Jesse Jackson was in the audience, obviously playing to that particular crowd, but it was a big financial commitment. $300 million that Intel was going to spend.
When I saw that, I was blown away. That's big money. $300 million.
To basically increase the pipeline of women and minorities in the tech industry, and specifically at Intel. I thought that was a big announcement. What else, Taylor? Oh, John, it was your first day on the show floor.
First day. Immense, intense, huge. It was crazy.
Well, who'd you see?
My first 15 minutes on the CES floor were pretty epic.
Yes,
I ran into Brian Roberts, the CEO of Comcast, who was getting a demo and presentations in the Ericsson booth, which I just happened to stumble upon. And then from there, I walked over to the Samsung booth, which these aren't booths, these are like mini cities, really. And who is in the line in front of me? Ralph De La Vega, the CEO of AT&T Mobility, is in front of me. And so I just start chatting with them, have some pleasantries, get a selfie essentially with them, and I think that was pretty cool.
That was nice, yeah.
In the first 15 minutes of CES, I was interacting with 2 CEOs that control $300 billion in market value in terms of their companies. Pretty crazy. It's a big deal to be at CES.
So for people who haven't read John's story, I recommend it. It's really a great first-timer's take, and it gives you a sense for what this show is like for people who've never been here. I think
the one point in there is I feel like I really need to go take a long walk in the Olympic National Forest or, Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. I need to get away from people after this weekend for probably about a month.
Yeah, it's no longer the weekend, actually.
There's a mass of people here.
Yeah,
mass of people.
Yeah.
It's true. I gotta say the highlight of my day was, Clyde Drexler. Top 50 greatest Trailblazer, top 50 greatest NBA player of all time. He was at CES at the ZTE booth, which 98% of people around the booth probably had no idea what ZTE did, but there was Clyde shooting baskets.
Clyde.
I think they knew who Clyde was. There was a group of like 150 people watching him shoot baskets, take pictures of people. That was my highlight of the day.
It's funny you should say that because at the Sands Expo today, I got to try one of the sensor-enabled basketballs that
I didn't know
really
you did
senses
that.
your arc And I'll tell you, after 4 shots, I was just hitting them one after the other. And there was a crowd that developed. And as I hit my 10th shot in a row, the crowd, I'm totally BSing you. But anyway, I did hit one
this
swish.
Was sounding really
I
awesome.
did hit
Wow.
one swish, and it was really impressive, actually. There's a sensor inside the basketball and a sensor inside the net. And the sensor inside the basketball tells you how good your arc is. The sensor inside the net tells you whether or not you made the shot.
Well,
My favorite technology so far.
Other celebs, speaking of basketball, I heard Shaquille O'Neal was hanging around the Intel booth today. 50 Cent was here, the rapper, touting some headphones.
CES,
It's everybody and everyone's here, you know. It's the place to be.
Yeah. All right, for some much more serious coverage of CES, go to GeekWire.com. We're having fun with these installments, perhaps maybe a little too much fun. But
Not me.
we'll keep doing them as long as our stamina holds. And until next time, I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm John Cook.
I'm Taylor Soper.
We'll talk to you next time from CES.